Over the past 30 days, the Bitcoin whales deposited almost $5 billion worth of Bitcoin into exchanges. Together with that, the retail demand hit 6 months low and is currently down 10%. How is this gonna affect the Bitcoin price? Let's analyze.
My crypto paradise.
Hello ladies and gentlemen of the Paradise Club, this is Simon from My Crypto Paradise. I wish you a great Saturday, last video of this week, and today it will be just a quick update since the previous video the price of Bitcoin didn't move much. Ladies and gentlemen, I have promised you in the previous video that we will be going through this pattern and what is important to get in terms of confirmations for the idea that I've described to you in the previous video. Since the price didn't move much, we will just go through everything quite quickly, but what have changed is the crypto trading sentiment that we are taking with AI on through these sites: Bitcoin Talk, Reddit, Twitter, nowadays it's called X, and as you can see we are updating it on daily basis, and so far the sentiment jumped quite a bit, alright, since the previous video. As you can see, Reddit is leading that. Reddit is mostly used by retail, and as you can see we are heavily jumped from the bearishness that we had around the sentiment just 2 days ago. Ladies and gentlemen, right now we are above average, all right, so something to be careful about. Together with that, the fear and greed index that you can also find on our MCP mycryptoparadise.com website. As you can see, we are still consolidating around that 60 and 80 levels, both very high points. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we have got a reversal from here. Right here we have had a price of Bitcoin 105,956, and then after we have topped our fear and greed index right here at around 60, we have went down, and as you can see Bitcoin went down as well to around $99,000. As you can see, it worked, the level 80 worked as a top right here as well. So 80 and 60, both very pivotal points of control, ladies and gentlemen, so be very careful, okay, right here. Together with that, the multi-million-dollar sell walls that I've been updating you about are still above us, okay, they're still above us on futures, so it's not spoofing just yet. It might be spoofing, but not yet. They are holding strong, ladies and gentlemen, and as you can see, the price action is really doesn't want to go there. As you can see, doesn't want to go there, and on a spot exchange we have a huge sell wall at $108,000, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, that is nicely confluencing with the sell walls we are having on futures as well. So definitely there is also one on $109,000, not visible at the moment, but that one is huge. So definitely if we will start reclaiming $109,000, and with the Paradise team we will be seeing that the sell walls are being deleted or the price is able to fight through it, we will be careful. But right now the price is holding beautifully below these huge sell walls, and together with that, as you can see, the funding rates are right now going more and more positive. As you can see, we are in red numbers, especially right now on Ethereum. It jumped quite a bit from the previous video, so be careful about that. As I've described the positive funding, what does it mean? There is loads of accumulated long positions because this is accumulated funding rate, all right. So over the past 2 days, as you can see on the daily basis, the accumulated funding rates went even more positive. So in the system, during this consolidation that we are having on Bitcoin, the sentiment around retail is increasing, and the long exposure is increasing as well, in the hope of a Bitcoin price action breakout to the upside, right? So as you know, as a professional traders, we are always trying to be positioned with the minority, with the smart money, and we are trying to avoid what the majority is doing, because majority is usually just a liquidity provider for the minority, for the whales who are handling loads of money, but they are in a small numbers, right? So this is very important. Let's right now jump into the charts. I will just go very quickly through the ultra high time frame chart. I will not describe it, actually. Watch the previous video if you haven't. We are just trying to understand if we are in the first wave. If we are in the first wave, once the first wave is completed, there will be a very high probability that we are in a new impulse that will take us towards $44,000. Why is that? I've explained in the previous video. But right now, let's jump quickly into this price section to make sure that we understand what's going on at the moment on the lower time frame. So here I have few things that I want to share with you. First of all, this is high time frame chart, daily time frame. That means each candle represents daily trading activity. As you can see right here, this red candle is a shooting star. It's a little shooting star, ladies and gentlemen. And as you know from our website, if you're being educated on our website in MCP Free University, you know that this is a reversal candlestick pattern, and usually it ends the bull trend and gets us into a bear trend. All right, so a bearish candlestick pattern, because as you can see, this wick is much bigger than the wick below the body. That means there was some buying pressure, but the bears being aggressive enough to push it back down. All right, and that's what created this wick right here. So a bearish candlestick pattern on the daily time frame. Be careful about that. Again, also we are finding this VPVR. I've been talking about that in the previous video. As you can see, we are consolidating, we are not moving much, but as I've promised in the previous video, I will be discussing what's going on right here, okay, and I will tell you what formation we are possibly forming that can give us a bigger hint of what's gonna happen next, okay. But first, let me show you what I'm seeing here as well, because I want to take your attention towards this volume too. As you can see, we are right now going to the upside, right, but the volume is declining, okay. So the price action is going up, pushing into these resistances, the 0.618 and the 786 Fibonacci retracement level that we have created by calculating this cycle right here. As you can see, we are trying to push through it, all right, and together with that, the volume is declining, okay. The momentum is increasing. I will be talking about the momentum that I'm seeing on the MACD indicator, but first let me show you what happened previously with pushing into a resistance, all right, together. So basically right here, yeah, we have been pushing to the resistance, all right. It was a resistance from our ascendant trend line as well, okay. And as you can see, this candle was a high volume. This one was high volume, and then as we started to push to that ascendant resistance trend line, as you can see, the volume started to decrease, okay. And then basically the bears took over, and as you can see, we have created a red candle, bearish candlestick pattern, okay. And then basically the volume started to diminish, all right, the momentum been increasing, okay, but the bears taken over, okay. And as you can see right now, the same thing is happening. And what is the reason of this is basically the bulls are losing strength, all right. We are being overbought, etc. Right now also, as you have seen in the intro, the retail is starting to lose an interest. So it seems like there is nobody left to buy in these kind of conditions, and the bears can start taking over, all right. So this is just a hint. It doesn't mean to go aggressive in some short positions or to short at all, right. This is just something as a professional traders we need to watch out, observe, understand, and then with a holistic approach really trying to get us in the best trading positions as possible. And that's exactly what we are doing in Paradise Family VIP, yeah. So right now, as you can see, the volume is declining the same way as did right here. Together with that, we are pushing into these resistances, okay. The momentum is increasing. Well, the scenario is similar, right. And as you know, the market is working in these kind of fractals. So what happened in the past will happen in the future as well, if you are using clever analysis that is based on human behavior, and the volume and the price action obviously is, right. So as I said, this doesn't mean that we are being aggressively short at the moment, because there are no confirmations just yet. We are still hovering a little bit above this 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level, and we are at the resistance zone, right. So even though you can create a nice risk to reward opportunities, because you can place the stop loss very tight and targets will be wide, because as you know, we are targeting the key high time frame support zone. If we will create the bearish pattern that I'm watching right now and I will be discussing in a minute, it's still right now not a great time to be somehow aggressive, like creating high leverage trades, lots of position size from your portfolio, investing in this bearish idea, because we need to have confirmation. So we have this nice shooting star, right. This is bearish hammer candlestick pattern, but we need some reaction, okay. We need some reaction and also some confirmation. So as you can see, we are still above the moving average trend line, and I definitely want to see a break. I want to see a clear like resistance out of this resistance area basically. And how do we get it? is by some nice volume candle to the downside that will also reclaim this moving average trend line. Then I want to see a retest that will be the lower time frame Elliott wave, like a secondary wave, and if that's gonna be created in a corrective mode wave, I will be definitely looking for a nice short opportunity to the downside. All right, from the oscillator perspective, I also want to see, even though right now we are creating some kind of a bearish divergence because the price action is creating lower high and the histogram on the MACD is creating higher high, it is not confirmed yet, right? Because what you need is a decline in momentum like this. So this was confirmation. This right here, the momentum started to diminish, right? It was a confirmation that the price action will continue to go lower, right? And it did, as you can see. So I want to see something similar, because right now on the MACD histogram we are having a bullish cross, which I don't like. Definitely I want to see a bearish cross when I am in some aggressive short positions and when I'm trying to increase my portfolio exposure on some side, on a bullish side or a bearish side, right? What is nice is stochastic RSI, because as you can see we are already in an overbought area, but we are waiting for a clear cross. As you can see we are trying to cross, but the bearish cross is still not there. So we are monitoring that very closely with the Paradise team. Together with that RSI, as you can see we are having a bullish cross, all right? The moving average RSI trend line being crossed by the RSI trend line. So definitely we are right now in the midpoint 50, as you can see, and definitely I want to see it crossed back to bearish, and definitely some kind of a retest would be another confirmation, and it will create much higher probability trade setups as well, right? The reclaim means a break and then the retest that holds, and then we can continue lower. So this is from daily time frame. Let me right now zoom in into this price action and let me show you once again the leading diagonal that we are forming. And as you know from the MCP Free University and from the previous video that I've been describing, that with the highest probability we are creating an impulse, right, on the higher scale. But to confirm that we are forming an impulse, we need to calculate the first wave, the first higher degree wave. So I'm talking about this. If I shoot you back to the higher time frame, ultra high time frame, here we have the impulse, possible impulse, right? And to say with a high certainty that we are really creating the first motive mode wave, we need to be able to calculate the subwaves, all right? So the first Elliott wave from an impulse is a motive mode wave. That means it should be created out of an impulse itself, all right? So this first wave is also having 5 smaller waves, all right? So it can be an impulse itself or a leading diagonal. And as you know from the previous video, I do believe that with some kind of a possibility, we are right now creating the first wave of an impulse in an descending leading diagonal, right? I've been sharing that with you in the previous video. Let me show you what I mean by that. So this is the descending leading diagonal. I do believe that we have created first wave, secondary wave, third wave, and right now we are confirming that we are having the fourth wave, right? We have been able to nicely predict where the fourth wave is gonna stop by creating a slope of our trend line from connecting the points of first and third bottom of these waves, and then copying the slope towards the secondary, and then basically that gave us a nice point of resistance for the fourth wave. As you can see, if I zoom in, right now we are holding below it, okay, and we need to keep holding below it in case of our bearish scenario to start playing out. So if we will start creating some pressure on the moving average trend line on this one and we will reclaim it, ladies and gentlemen, we are dumping towards $93,000, right? This is going to be a high probability setup if we will be successfully able to determine if we are creating, because this fifth wave also subdivides itself into 5 smaller waves, because it is also a motive mode wave, right? Motive, corrective, motive, corrective, motive. The fifth wave is a motive mode wave, so it itself can take basically a shape of an impulse or an ending diagonal, okay? So right now we are not sure because it didn't create any smaller wave just yet, or did it? We will take a look on the low time frame chart, and I will show you that maybe we are already creating a start of the first lower degree wave. But once it's going to be clear, ladies and gentlemen, and we will create some nice surge to the downside that will be in the shape of the motive mode wave or a leading diagonal, we will also want to see some reclaim, some confirmation. This secondary wave should take shape of some corrective mode wave from these patterns. One of them is going to be the possibility, if we will be able to successfully determine that one of them it is, we will be creating a nice short and aggressive opportunities in kinda preparation of a crash towards $93,000. And if that's going to be successful and created in some 5 move structure, it will be a first hint that we are really creating a new ultra high degree impulse that will take us with the highest probability towards $44,000, ladies and gentlemen. So right now let's jump into low time frame, because I want to explain to you how we can determine when this fourth wave is gonna have a confirmation that it's being finished and we are about to start making a first lower degree wave, right? By the way, for the $93,000, how did I came up with this level? Watch the previous video. So let's right now jump into the price action on a 1 hour time frame. This is low time frame chart for us. As you know, the fourth corrective mode wave on the higher degree chart needs to take a place of some corrective mode wave, and I do believe that we have created that in ABC, extended C, ladies and gentlemen, zigzag corrective mode wave, right, as I've explained to you in the previous video. And right now I do believe that we are finishing that fourth wave inside of this ending diagonal. Why? Because this wave was an extended C, and as you know, the C is itself a motive mode wave and subdivides itself into 5 smaller waves. So on the lower time frame degree on 15 and 5 minute, it is not gonna be nicely visible right here, but I will just show you roughly how it was the price action. This was the first one, secondary wave, third wave, fourth wave, and right now we are creating the fifth wave, ladies and gentlemen. And as you already know, I've already told you that, right? The fifth wave can be having a shape of an ending diagonal, and the ending diagonal is having 5 subwaves. Each of them are being created in a corrective mode wave. So either it is a zigzag or a double zigzag or a flat, some kind of corrective mode wave. And as you can see, by the way, one of the guidelines from the Elliott wave theory is that the ending diagonal, each of the subwaves is created in a zigzag, all right? It's the most common subwave for the ending diagonal. So right here, I do believe that we have already finished the 5 waves, given that we will be holding below this descending trend line. Because let me show you, after we have broke from the 4th wave, which was the triangle, right, we have started to create the subwaves of that ending diagonal 5th wave. So this was ABC first wave, then ABC secondary wave, ABC third wave right here, ABC 4th wave, and right now it seems like we are creating the final 5th wave, given that this descending trend line will hold. But still, we are not entering some aggressive short positions right here. Why? Because we are still hovering above this ascending trend line that I've shared with you, that is being basically created by this head and shoulders pattern that we have already broke to the downside. We have hit almost its target, and ladies and gentlemen, as you know, after with Paradise Family VIPs, we have been taking our target right here. The Bitcoin started to surge to the upside, and right now we are back above the ascending trend line that previously was working as a resistance. Right now it is starting to be replaced and working as a support. So that is why it's extremely important not to trade without confirmations, right? So this seems to be a finish of the 5th wave. However, to get nicely positioned with the highest probability into the first and secondary wave of newly created impulse, which will take form of the 5th wave, it will be either an impulse or an ending diagonal itself, right? We need to have a confirmation. Firstly, we need to have a clear first wave that needs to go below the moving average trend line, and then we will be waiting for the secondary wave to ride the move potentially to the downside, right? So what I'm waiting for right now on the lower time frame is definitely confirmation that this is being an ending diagonal. That means this descending trend line needs to hold. Once I will see some nice reaction that will take a form of an impulse, which will be the lower degree first wave, then I will be waiting for the secondary wave. We will be positioning ourselves nicely with a high probability, high precision, and great risk reward strategy, and we will be riding the moves to the downside and maximizing our profitability in this market again. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, I'm recording for for you the videos every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. This is the last video of this week. Please smash the like button. I'm really working hard for you to make sure that you are becoming a better trader thanks to these videos. I do hope that it's helping you. So smash the like button. Feel free to smash the like button. You don't need to, but feel free to smash it, and definitely write some comment. What do you think about this price action? I'm reading all the comments and I'm replying to every single of you because I love to do it, okay? And I will see you again on Tuesday. Enjoy your weekend. Cheers.